Okay, we are live, everybody. Welcome to Sarge's Discharges. Today, we'll be talking about something that's pretty fucking common, yet it seems so fucking uncommon. Sorry, I feel like I always gotta start with that. Something that makes it seem even more like Sarge's Discharges. Welcome, everybody, to the podcast. Today, we will be talking about uncommon sense. Now, what is this, you may ask? Well, turns out common sense isn't so damn common anymore. Now, you may be thinking, Ace, what do you mean by that? Well, this very podcast is going to be full of a bunch of examples and how I feel about them. Just what I mean by uncommon sense. Starting off, we'll have a personal experience. Now, firstly, we'll actually start with what people tend to think that common sense is, which is, by definition, or whatever odds, something that people naturally should have or have naturally been raised or taught with. There's a lot of... Let me rephrase. There's not a lot of that anymore. There doesn't seem to be a lot of anything anymore when it comes down to that. Like, I know in personal experience, it's the middle of a pandemic. Everybody's catching COVID. Everybody's dying because of COVID. Much as I don't want to talk about it, it's got to be talked about. I'm sorry. And you're going to refuse to wear a mask at a place that requires you to have one. And then yell at them, and yell, and yell, and yell, and whine like a little bitch when you don't get your way. Well, this you're only bringing upon yourself. Lo and behold. So, what I mean by that is, when you publicly go to a place that makes it so you have to wear a mask in order to be there, you are automatically agreeing to wear a mask when you go there. Now, I have seen plenty of videos where, yeah, it doesn't actually hurt to wear a mask, and it doesn't. People think that wearing a mask will block your oxygen, and that just doesn't happen unless you're wearing a heavy mask, in which case that is your fault. There are paper ones, although I don't fucking like them, because one, they always fuzz up and break apart, or they'll they're just not good for the environment. I know it's paper, but paper takes so long to degrade. And plus, is it really just only paper? You have those little rubber strings. So that's why I like getting the other kind of masks, where they're still relatively light, but they have the metal band on top. I've actually been wanting to get a copper fit one, because the copper fit one seemed like, you can never forget your mask, because you always have this mess that you can wear around your neck when you don't need it. And then when you put it on, it's just super comfy. I like copper fit stuff. But back on track. If people think that they're vaccinated, and I'm going to get to the vaccine in a second too. People who think that they're vaccinated automatically think it protects them from these new coming variants. That is not possible, because these new variants are essentially parts of the virus that adapted and have changed in a way that makes them stronger. Not like some kind of super virus or some dumb shit like that. I'm talking like it has taken advantage of the atmosphere it's been given, and it decides to make it worse. But the uncommon sense I'm talking about is people who get the vaccine, or I should say people who don't want to get the vaccine, even just from the beginning. A lot of them think they're putting microchips in it. Just think about that for a minute. Why would they need to put microchips to track you in something that's meant to help you when you have your phones on you almost 24/7? That is one thing I don't understand. Another thing is, because I was making a joke earlier, how people like that are the same kind of people that believe that the earth is flat, that aliens don't exist. And that's another thing. Do you really think, out of the entirety of space, let alone a galaxy, that we are the only beings, the only living beings that ever exist? Do you honestly think that? It is stupid to think so. Surely there are other versions of Earth, essentially, but of course they're not called Earth, where you have all these stars that these planets are evolving around in these different solar systems, and obviously there's going to be one or two planets in that mix that are most hospitable for life. And mind you, this isn't even talking about possibilities of anything that could even come to us, because that in itself is a whole other story. But as for the flat Earth theory, it's that has been debunked by numerous numbers. I saw this thing that was like, yeah, I bet they never used math to check their work. Yeah, because when they use the math, they prove themselves wrong. You'd think it's common sense to know that. Well, okay, it's not common sense to essentially know that the Earth is flat. That you can kind of get me on. But it is common sense to say that we are the only living beings in the entirety of space is such an untrue factor. You know there's got to be other things. Now, the theory of ghosts, however, well, there had been actual things proving those too to be true, believe it or not. But that's not even talking about those either, if we're being honest. But here's another bit of common sense, right? If you have something important, why wouldn't you want to protect it? Now, this isn't leading up to any sponsor or anything. I just want to make a point across. I see people get so many things but not protected. So many people have all these iPhones and they get these little rinky-dinky cases and think, oh yeah, this is enough. And they drop their phone and they're crying because their fucking case is shattered. Oh no, sorry, not the case, the glass is shattered. And then they wonder why. If you know you're someone that drops your phone all the damn time, or drops anything valuable, or not essentially, not just valuable, but God, what sort of thinking of? Anything fragile, and you drop that religiously, why wouldn't you want to protect it? Why wouldn't you want to give your phone an OtterBox? Why wouldn't you want to give any of your electronic devices any kind of waterproof protection? They have... You could do various things with Flex Seal, Flex Tape. There's even fucking Flex Paint now. You can decorate something with it or like just keep it sealed. I swear it's limitless the things you can do with waterproof stuff like that. And I've been meaning to invest into it myself. Not sponsored by it, but goddamn, I wish I was. Phil Swift, sponsor me. You know you want to. No. I know Phil Swift is only really an endorser for it. Wait, I'm gonna have to look that up. Is he? Hold on. Does Phil Swift own the Flex family? He's a spokesman of the Flexio family of products. Also, he is the co-creator of Flexio products and the chief executive officer of Swift Response, a company he co-founded along with his brother Alan Swift. So he did create it. Wow. So yeah, Phil, if you want to give me a sponsorship, I'd be happy to endorse your products religiously. I'm sorry, I love the idea of those products. You know how many things I wish I could fucking waterproof around this house? And that's another thing that takes common sense to understand. The difference between waterproof and water resistant. It's the same kind of concept as gluten-free and gluten-friendly. Let me start off small. Right? With water resistant, you can get a little bit of water on it, save yourself from a couple little splashes. But you can't go deep diving with the thing. Whereas waterproof makes it so while you have it done right, if it's a case, if you have it applied on right, if it's a speaker, if you're checking all the requirements and plugging up all the holes and all that, then I don't know why, but you could essentially take yourself deep diving with the sucker. That would be kind of cool, actually. I've always thought about that. Thought about a lot of things, honestly. But yeah, going with gluten-friendly and gluten-free. Gluten-friendly, it's cutting down on gluten, but you still have gluten in whatever you're eating. Whereas gluten-free, there is zero gluten. You get the point. Or if, I suppose if you're listening to this and you're still wondering what it means, or I should say, or what I mean by common sense isn't so common anymore, and you're still wondering what that is, then you're those type of people that don't get it. I'm sorry. But, no, you get the point, though. It's really sad to see how people can get that misconception. How they can think one thing is one thing when it's another thing. Oh, the concept of things being free, too. That's how they get you. It costs money to make a product. So if it's free, it's most likely just an endorsement for you to get you to buy more. It's a marketing scam. It's an old classic marketing scam. If it's free, it's probably too good to be true. Now, I'm not talking about any superstitions or anything, but there is some superstitions that can be common sense. I can't think of any right now. Oh, no. I'm lying. I think I'm just basing this on Stevie Wonder song. Let me look up a list of superstitions. No, I want the list, you buffoon. Knocking on wood isn't one of those common sense ones. You could say breaking a mirror, the breaking a mirror one is common sense. In a way. Because, I mean, obviously, if you break a mirror, regardless what happens, it's just going to be horrible. You know, trying to clean up the glass is going to be bad. You know, and then you got to think about the fucking people at the trash dumps that are trying to separate that shit. And it's like, it's just this whole fucking thing. And it's like, also, the thought of recycling. It's like, oh, do I recycle everything? And it's like, well, of course, if you want this planet to live. Like, if you don't know the power of recycling, you honestly have no common sense. Okay, saying bless you when someone sneezes. I feel like that's just something that everybody, regardless who you are, everybody naturally says. When somebody sneezes, it's not just so much a superstition as it is this whole regular ordeal. And when they sneeze, you just say bless you. It's kind of like an instinct for a lot of people. Yeah, the rest of these are not even knocking on wood, wishing on a star, breaking mirror, four-leaf clover, bad news comes in threes. Oh, I've heard that one too. Don't open an umbrella inside. Lucky penna, beginner's luck. I fucking love that one. Saying bless you when someone sneezes, wishing on a wishbone. See, beginner's luck, I think casinos put into play a lot. It's how they get to know the faces around there, and they start to identify who's who and who really has the most experience. Because when it's beginner's luck, it's not necessarily that you're a beginner. It could be that you're just starting at that casino or at that table. You know what I mean? But beginner's luck, I can see where that comes from. Because if you're just starting out with something, not exactly good yet, and then you start getting all of these good hands dealt, and it's like, okay, maybe it's just lucky. But then it keeps happening. It keeps happening. And then suddenly, they start getting suspicious. But really, you know a whole trick behind it. See, that's where I would draw the line for beginner's luck. But I do believe that can be a common sense thing. In the ways of, getting to know somebody. You can tell, I'm telling you, you can tell a lot from how somebody plays cards. You can tell a lot about somebody. I'm not lying. Here, I'm even going to look up the proper definition of common sense just to see how accurate I have it. Common sense. Good sound and sound judgment and practical manners. Okay, so yeah. That seems legit. What does common sense mean? Sense, common sense, judgment, wisdom mean the ability to reach intelligent conclusions. Sense implies a reliable ability to judge and decide with soundness. Prudence and intelligence, a choice showing good sense. Common sense suggests an average degree of such ability without sophistication or special knowledge. That right there, that description is what I mean by common sense isn't so common anymore. There doesn't seem to be a lot of people that use their fucking brain. And it's like, with a lot of those people, you just gotta laugh. It's especially like those people that turn off from an exit lane or something, and they have a yield sign. But the person to the right of them, I'm talking about, on a four-way intersection, you have one person has a yield or a stop sign even, and the other side has none, right? But it's like those people that when they get to that stop sign, they completely fucking ignore it and they pass through. When you see this big red octagon that says in big white letters, stop, then it would be a smart decision to stop for a second or two. It's just, alright, let me look up some. I'm about to roast some people right now. Maybe myself, who knows. Examples of common sense. Common sense is the knowledge that all humans have. Really? Such knowledge is unspoken and unwritten. We take it for granted. Exactly. Unspoken and unwritten. If something is common sense, and if it's truly common sense, but someone still asks you, how do you do it? Or how do you say it? They do not have common sense. We acquire it imperceptibly from the day we are born. For example, animals don't drive cars, or my mother is older than me. Well, yeah. All the things that will make you say, think you kept it obvious, no shit, Sherlock. Well, that's fucking common sense. Anything in those regards. If it makes you say any of that and more, then that's when you truly know it's an example of common sense and people do not have it. What is the most common sense? Huh? Yeah, I'm not getting into that one. Wait, there's a whole explanation, limitation, and so on and so forth behind that. Oh my god. We are looking at this, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to read it word for word, don't worry. What is common sense really? Common, in air quotes, means that everyone has something at their disposal that can be freely used by the common people as well as by educated and privileged people. Sense, in quotation marks, often refers to one of the senses of the body and its ability to perceive external stimuli. People acquire different forms of knowledge. Some are harder to understand than others and require decades of intense study, while others are simply data that simply hit our brains and stick to them. This is true. There are many other types of wisdom or senses, many of which are rare, while others are notoriously common. You could say that. If you're one of the many people reprimanded for lacking common sense, this article may be just what you need to read. But anyway, regardless of why you are familiar with the term common sense, it seems only natural that you should understand it. So what actually is common sense? By dividing the phrase into two words, common and sense, we can begin to get to the heart of the matter. Common implies that there is something available to everyone that can be freely used by common people and educated and privileged people. Sense also refers to the ones, okay, we already read that from the thing. Basically, sense refers to an understanding of something and recognizing an object based on past or present experiences. You put the words together, and you get an understanding that is widely available to everyone, or generally available intelligence. That is what I'm saying. That doesn't seem to circulate in the brains anymore. There is a lot of uncommon sense, and it is actually pretty funny to understand. There's another rule of life, too. That I want to show you guys. Survival of the fittest. The continued existence of organisms which are best adapted to their environment, with the extinction of others, is a concept in the Darwinian theory of evolution. And yes, natural selection. We could always also compare with that. Natural selection, the process whereby organisms better adapted to their environment tend to survive and produce more offspring. The theory of its action was first fully expounded by Charles Darwin and is now believed to be the main process that brings about evolution. See? That right there. That is when you go beyond common sense. I'm not kidding. When you start putting only certain plants into your home or office or wherever, then that could potentially be beyond common sense. In the sense that people know what they're doing. I don't know if I turned senses for the stream, but my brain is just not working, and I am apologizing. Sometimes I can swear my I know I'm getting tired when my subconscious just kind of zones out for a minute while I'm in the middle of talking, and then I start saying something else that I wasn't even in the slightest talking about. I do notice I do that a lot of times, even just on my regular videos. I tend to do that a lot. It's kind of disturbing, but at the same time, it's kind of funny. I gotta laugh at myself once in a while. You know, we have to do that here. But yeah, uncommon sense is something that the more and more I look at it, it just keeps getting worse. So, I thought I'd give you guys a short little stream. I'm honestly not in the mood. Something that should be common sense to me right now is, if I'm as tired as I feel, I shouldn't have even come on stream. I shouldn't have even started the stream. But I wanted to give you guys something because I felt bad because it's Monday night. I want to give you guys a stream. Tomorrow night is that party, so I'll probably only be able to give you guys another stream. And I wouldn't know what to do, etc., etc. I feel bad. I just feel bad. Here, let me show you just one of the reasons why I was tired. It's because of this beauty. This is a new album I have coming out over on my Grave Wolf channel. Grave Wolf Music, if you want to go give us subby wubby. I can't believe I just said subby wubby. Anyway, back to it. Here, I may have a song I can preview. Here, let me have a look here. It's a complete racing playlist, so you just have... now, mind you, it's really more so kill everybody while you're driving more than anything. Yeah, that kind of music. I think a lot of people just call it death race. Death race music. Oh, good lord. I'm trying to get it all working now. Here, you know what? This one came up, so I'll just play this. This is Revenge Drift from the new album. Beautiful little work on it, I think. See, when I go back, I'm going to edit my voices into these. I was going to upload all my music tomorrow morning, but I think I'm going to take my time and I'm going to make proper voice adjustments where I need to. Like, now I want to do another thing for you guys. I'm just quickly going to Filmora, I'm going to do a quick little sample what it could sound like if I put voice recordings into these. Let's just stop it there for a minute. Just so I can get film more open. I'm sorry, I'm getting way off track right now. I am really trying not to make an ad for my own content. I'll stop after this, I promise. I just want to show you guys this. Here, I'll exit out of Google Drive right now. Here. 2, 1. It's all for you, all for you, all for you, all for you. And now, the cool thing I love about audio editing see, I think there's going to be a lot of people that are listening to this and they're thinking, we know how to fucking audio edit. Shut the fuck up. And really, I was going to say this is another example of common sense, but actually it could be very uncommon. I do notice nowadays when I look at editing softwares, they have all of these really weird ones. Like like I don't even know how to fucking edit with them because it's just like, what the fuck is this shit? Like I'll be so serious though. I look at it and I just think, what the fuck to myself. Alright, so let's hear this little mini sample back. It's all for you, all for you, all for you, all for you. Not too bad, right? And then I go to adjust audio. I change the pitch. I first heighten it.
It's all for you, all for you, all for you, all for you.
Heighten it all the way.
It's all for you, all for you, all for you, all for you.
See, editing software, regardless, I don't think is common sense, but it is common sense. The higher the pitch, the higher the voice will be. The lower the pitch, the lower the voice will be.
All for you, all for you, all for you. All for you, all for you, all for you, all for you.
And now, when I go to put in my audio, and I find what the fuck I'm doing first. I'm in the favorites, right? I knew that. Import media files. Ah, fuck, I didn't actually go and download that. Not yet, anyway. I'll try and make this quick. God damn it. Fuck everything right now. Fuck. It's going too fast. Really? Alright, you got the idea. You don't know the kind of things you could do with audio, though. If you work with audio enough like that, you could have some real fun with it. And I mean that seriously. If you fuck around with audio enough, you will have the time of your motherfucking life, honestly. See, I'm kind of scared to see what all these little audios I have are, but we're not gonna get into that. There you go. Do that. Don't say the change is. I just wanted to get my point across a little bit. So, in reality, anyone could learn to become good at video editing and music editing. That kind of stuff, yeah, while it's not common sense, after you learn the stuff and you get yourself involved in that audience that knows how to edit, I mean, it isn't fucking common sense to be able to teach yourself that stuff, but it is common sense to go on YouTube and find a video about it. You know what I'm saying? And that's another thing I wanted to use an example for earlier when I was talking about, you know, the different ways to point out telling someone, oh no, sorry, ways to tell someone that they need common sense. One of the ways you can tell them is, oh fuck, I already forgot. Oh, it's not rocket science. That's always been a favorite of mine. My God, it's not rocket science. What's wrong with you? Yeah. So yeah, I think I've quite gotten my point across a little bit. The bottom line is, there are too many people in this world that make this seriousness of common sense. I don't know, one more thing before I go. Another funny personal experience. So, another example of what happened today is, someone literally asked my manager if they could work today. And you know what they did? They fucking called out today. It's like, if you weren't going to work today, we could have got someone else. I tell you. But, yeah. This is where I had the stream. I had a lot of fun. I think I'm really just getting too tired to talk anymore at this point. I'm starting to ramble on about nothing. So, at least you've heard my opinions and rants on everything. Let me know if you like the fact that I'm starting to title all these now. I'm going from whatever bumfuck container to, oh, no, this is cut sausage links. This is quarter can. I honestly don't even know what I was starting to talk about there. I really am fucking tired, to be honest. I literally just subconsciously started talking again. I do apologize. My god. Alright, let me get my ass in fucking bed before I start rambling on about some dumb shit like I know I'm probably going to. Alright. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment below your favorite part, and what you want to see in the next episode of the next episode of the podcast. And I bid you all a nice little